I'm Angel, standing in my luxurious office, overlooking the bustling city below. I'm reminded of the moment that changed everything. Just hours ago, my cousin Lily, along with my aunt and uncle, stood right here, their faces a mix of shock and disbelief. It all started at a family dinner at my aunt's elegant mansion. The crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow over the polished mahogany table, and the fine china sparkled. Lily, with her long, chestnut hair and a confident smile, raised her glass of champagne. "Everyone, I've been invited for an interview at Sterling and Company, the most prestigious financial firm in the region," she announced proudly. A hush fell over the table. My uncle, a well-respected businessman, paused mid-bite. "Sterling and Company. That's a dream job, Lily," he exclaimed, beaming with pride. I sat quietly, cutting my steak methodically. At my age, I've learned to blend in when necessary. But in this family, silence often draws attention. "Aren't you excited for Lily, Angel?" my aunt asked, giving me a sideways glance. "What do you do again? That little online venture?" I looked up and replied calmly, "I run a private investment firm." Lily let out a giggle. "Oh, that little thing? It can't compare to a real job at Sterling and Company." My uncle chimed in, "Angel, you're not getting any younger. It's time to be more practical." I clenched my jaw. They had no idea about the multi-million-dollar deals I was closing or the high-rise building with my name on it. But they would soon. On the drive back to my penthouse, which they thought I was renting, I let my mind wander back. 13 years ago, after I graduated from business school, Lily was always in the spotlight. She was the one with the perfect grades and the flashy achievements. Meanwhile, I quietly built my business, reviving struggling companies and using strategic maneuvers to take over Sterling and Company. When its founder retired 5 years ago, as I parked in my private garage, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Lily. "You should come to Sterling and Company. Once I'm hired, I'll show you around. It's a real firm." I laughed softly, looking up at the illuminated building of my company. That night, I pulled out Lily's resume. On the surface, it looked impressive. Good schools, promotions, and great references. But I'd done my research. I knew about the interns she'd blamed for her mistakes, the reports she'd taken credit for, and the shortcuts she'd taken. I sent an email to schedule her interview for 9 a.m. the next day with a 30-minute wait. It was a small touch, but she deserved it. The next morning, as I stepped out of the elevator in my perfectly tailored suit, my assistant, Maya, greeted me with a knowing smile. "Your 9 o'clock arrived early, at 8:45. She's been in the lobby, demanding lattes and name, dropping half the board. She also told the front desk you're her confused cousin, who does consulting." I grinned. "Has she noticed the magazine covers with my face?" Maya replied, "Not yet. She's too busy showing off." At 9 a.m. sharp, Lily walked in. Her confident stride faltered when she saw me sitting behind the CEO's desk. "Angel, what are you doing here?" "I'm supposed to meet the CEO," she stammered. I turned my nameplate towards her. "I am the CEO of Sterling and Company. I've been for the past 5 years. Her face paled. "You can't be. You're just a consultant working from home." I leaned back and said, "Actually, I own this building and several others. Let's talk about your application." I started to question her about the claims on her resume. When I pointed out that the growth of her department was due to a junior team she'd initially opposed, her face turned red. "You've been investigating me?" she gasped. Just then, Maya informed me that my aunt and uncle were in a lobby, demanding to see me. I calmly asked her to send them up. When they entered, my aunt gasped, "What's going on? Why are you in the CEO's office?" I coolly replied, "I'm reviewing Lily's application. We're discussing honesty and results." My uncle got angry. "This is ridiculous. You're humiliating Lily." I stood up and pressed a button on my desk. The glass wall behind me showed charts, headlines, and acquisition records. "Welcome to Sterling and Company, the firm you've always bragged about. It's been built by the woman you've dismissed for years." They stared in shock at the evidence of my success. My uncle finally asked, "Why didn't you tell us?" I smiled bitterly. "I did, but you never listened." Lily tried to apologize, but I cut her off. "I'm not interested in apologies born out of panic. You've spent years mocking me." Maya then brought in a folder with Lily's background investigation. Falsified achievements, workplace bullying, and plagiarized campaigns were all in there. My uncle tried to intervene, but I was firm. "You lost the right to talk privately when you let her mock me. Sterling and Company runs on integrity." I informed Lily that her application was rejected and I'd forward the findings to her current employer. She burst into tears, and this time, they were real. I turned to my aunt and uncle. "You should think about how you've treated your daughters. One you praised despite her dishonesty, and the other you dismissed despite her success." As they left, Maya asked if I was okay. I opened my drawer and looked at a photo of my grandfather, the only one who'd always believed in me. "Yes, I'm okay," I said, exhaling deeply. Over the next few months, Lily's employer conducted an investigation, and she was forced to resign. My aunt and uncle's social status took a hit. Meanwhile, I continued to grow Sterling and Company, leading new acquisitions and mentoring startups. 6 months later, I received a handwritten apology from Lily. She'd taken an entry-level job without family connections and finally understood the meaning of hard work. My aunt's letter came a few months after that, asking to get to know the real me. I keep those letters in my desk, beside my grandfather's photo. It's not about sentiment. It's a reminder that success is about proving myself right, not about proving others wrong. And as I sit here, looking at the latest issue of Forbes featuring my story, I know that real success endures in silence.